Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. This is Courtney, the Marketing Coordinator here at AIM. Today's webinar will be recorded and later posted on our website. This does mean that all attendees will be automatically muted so that we can get a quality recording. If you have any questions, feel free to type them into the chat box, and we'll try to answer them throughout the presentation, but if we're unable to get to all of them, we'll have a member of our marketing team reach out to you individually to make sure your questions are answered. Our newest agent resource, the 2-Minute Minute, is still in full swing. The marketing team is bringing you quick ways to talk to more prospects, write more business, and grow your agency. We're posting new videos every Monday and Wednesday, so check out our social media pages, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube to see what you might have missed. With this, I'll go ahead and hand it over to Derek so that we can get started. Go ahead and take it away, Derek.
Thank you, Courtney. As Courtney said, this is Derek Lape here with AIM. Today is going to be a great webinar. We have Dave Coghill, who is a Senior Regional Sales Consultant, as you can see with LifeSecure. He's going to be going through some of their ancillary products. With that, I want to say welcome and thank you for being here, Dave.
Oh, you bet. Thank you very much. I appreciate everybody's time this morning. I know it's creeping up close to open enrollment. It's going to get very busy. I think this is a good time of year to hit refresh and walk through some of our products. A couple of things happening over the next maybe 30 to 60 days is we are launching a new hospital indemnity product in an additional 15 to 20 states. I don't necessarily have a list right now because sometimes we bump up against some filing issues and things like that last minute, but I'm hoping that Washington is one of those states. But we did launch about 25 states last month. So we have some new enhancements to the hospital indemnity product, and certainly I'll be walking through those along with the other two ancillary products that we currently have that have been updated as well. So I'll probably take about 20-25 minutes or so to walk through this. You know, as you have questions and things like that, certainly post those in the chat box available, and we'll get to those as soon as possible. So there is my contact information. Certainly AIM is the go-to point of contact. But if you have something that's a little unusual or just wish to ask a couple of questions about LifeSecure, you're certainly welcome to reach out to me. The agenda today, so to speak, is certainly to cover our wheel of products. What I'm going to do is focus on the right-hand side there, which are our ancillary lineup. You know, keep in mind we do have long-term care worksite as well as term life and final expense too. But today's focus will be accident, critical illness, and hospital indemnity. So let's go ahead and jump into it. If you don't know anything about LifeSecure, you know, we're majority owned by one of the largest health plans. We've been in business since 2006. Definitely strong, fast growing. We are a national company with products. So if you happen to write in another state or two or across the United States, we're in just about every state except New York and Florida currently. One of the nice things about our ancillary products is they work both in the individual and the worksite or group space. So they're all portable should somebody leave their place of business and that sort of thing. So one of the feather in our cap is we were recently recognized by LIMRA as a top 3 carrier for accident sales. And as I walk through the product, you'll probably get an idea why we were recognized for that. What we try to do is keep things very simple at LifeSecure when we do introduce new products or make enhancements. And really it's feedback from the brokers and agents that we work with and just what's out there with the competitive landscape as well. So our accident product, it is with an accidental death benefit. That's new. So issue ages remain at 18 to 74. And this product is always guaranteed issue. So now it's guaranteed renewable to age 85. And like I said, it does have an accidental death benefit of $10,000 for the primary and secondary insured, and then $5,000 for each child in the household. It's an increase of 72 hours to 1 week to receive initial care Now, I pause on that. That's for the rest of the United States. In the state of Washington, an individual actually has up to 1 year to receive that initial care. We now have 2 deductible options of 0 and 500. Those are one-time deductibles in the case of a $500 deductible. So if somebody did have 2 accident claims in 1 year, they're only subject to 1 deductible on those claims. It continues to be 24/7 on or off the job. So we'll get into those high-risk segments, both in the individual and the worksite space. So if you've got roofers, contractors, police officers, firefighters, we write all that business, and it continues to be guaranteed issue. So there's really no job exclusion unless it's a professional athlete doing what they do as a professional athlete. But actually, we do insure some professional athletes just to insulate them outside of their profession, if you will. So how does it work? Simply put, you choose your annual benefit bank. It does replenish every January. For individuals, it's $2,500 to $15,000. For couples and families, it's up to $25,000. So that benefit for couples and families can be shared by all. It's essentially an umbrella of protection. There are only 4 rating tiers, so once again, we keep it very simple. It's an individual spouse or partner, a single parent with kids, or the term family plan. That means a couple with the kids in the household or dependents. It's reimbursement of actual expenses, which is a big deal in this space. It's not a scheduled benefit. It's whatever those expenses are, with the example below here. So this individual chose a $10,000 benefit bank. She had an accident while skiing out there, broke her collarbone, and required immediate medical attention. So her name is Donna. She has a $500 deductible. So all told, the medical expenses for this unfortunate accident was $8,800. So those are the reimbursable expenses. So less a $500 deductible, we would send Donna a check for $8,300. So once again, simply put, it is a very, very easy explanation when you're sitting with a client at point of sale. But also, if a client does have an accident, it's easy to explain to them. Common claims. I always like to run through this because typically it'll provide some maybe influence on who you want to talk to. You know, who's at risk out there? Well, the number 1 risk out there are slip and falls. Makes sense. Now, with it being guaranteed renewable to age 85, it really does put you in that senior space. A lot of slip and falls. Ladders. Obviously, ladders are a big deal. People fall off them every day. And so that's number 2 on our list. Kids sports. And I bring this up as a number 3. So there is coverage on the playground, at school. There is coverage for kids who are enrolled in sports in school, which insulates the family on those high deductible healthcare plans out there. So there's no exclusion just because they're at school. Keep that in mind. It's 24/7, on or off the job, in or out of school. So it's really opened up an opportunity to provide kids while they're on the playground or in sports. Animal and insect bites. I show a picture of a rattlesnake. That's kind of a shock effect, if you will, but we do cover snake bites. Bee stings, spider bites, all those different things are considered an accident. Certainly exercise injuries, and then lastly, automobile accidents, because PIP and MedPay has its limits. Well, we would jump in and pay right alongside health insurance, right alongside PIP or MedPay. So it's that next buffer of coverage for those out-of-pocket expenses not covered. So what does it cost? So let's take that $10,000 annual benefit bank in the upper right there. So that $500 deductible example that I provided, about $30 a month. So think about that as clients are choosing to buy those bronze or silver plans out there with those huge deductibles. Agents are continuing to backfill those plans and insulate that deductible risk with an accident plan or a hospital indemnity plan for that matter. So I just wanted to cover some of those premiums. I won't walk through all of them. So let's move on to hospital indemnity. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to provide you with an overview of our latest product, because if it's not already in your state, it will be there, hopefully by the end of summer. So it is 4.0, continues to be with observation coverage, and it definitely assists in the recovery phase following a hospital stay. So it's ideal for selling to both over 65, under 65, Medicare Advantage clients, and it's intended for those out-of-pocket costs, deductibles, co-pays, etc. Once again, it's a cash benefit, and it pays right alongside health insurance because it's a cash benefit in addition to anything else in play. So issue ages remain 18 through 85. It is a guaranteed renewable for life plan. So includes coverage for treatment for observation, like I mentioned. It is for hospital admissions resulting from mental or nervous disorders as well. It's an age-banded unisex rate environment, application signed state. So what that means, if you're helping a client in the state of Washington and that electronic link for signature hits them while they're on vacation in Arizona, for example, if they indicate they sign that application in Arizona, they're going to get an Arizona policy. That's all that means, because we file each state as if a client were signing in that state. So just be aware of that. There may be a few nuances between the states, and I think it's important to understand that as an agent or a broker for sure. Compatible with HSA, and guaranteed issue opportunities for individuals and work sites. So I'll walk through that. So prior coverage was 3.0. That continues to live throughout the United States in areas where we haven't quite launched the 4.0. So I'm going to move on to the right-hand column there. We now have individual guaranteed issue for anybody ages 64.5 through age 66. And on worksite, $200 to $300 daily benefit amounts are now guaranteed issue for anybody working at least 20 hours a week at their place of employment. So we've increased it from 200 to include 200 and 300. So again, I'm going to focus on the right-hand side there. We now have a benefit period of 3, 6, 10, or 21 days. We had an awful lot of inquiries, input from the field, from the aspect that just keeping it at 35 days per calendar year is limiting a lot of people with affordability and what they need to insulate out there. So now we include more options. Certainly the premium changes. So it's a rolling benefit period now as well. Once out of the hospital for 60 days, those number of days reset to the original amount. Observation up to 6 days per year. Mental health now covered 150 for up to 7 calendar days per year. And these calendar days do not count towards the confinement or admittance to a hospital. So really it's become an excellent product. It really puts us in the competitive landscape with other carriers out there. So now we've got this guaranteed issue opportunity of $200 or $300 on the work site. Simplified issue, meaning there are 4 questions that come into play, and I'll share those with you, beyond that $300. We also have some new optional riders of lump sum hospital admission. You choose a $500 or $1,000 benefit payout, 1 per calendar year, pays in addition to that hospital confinement benefit. And also outpatient surgery. This is new. At point of sale, choose 500 or 1,000. We also have rehab or skilled nursing facility riders now. That's new. Confinement must begin within 30 days from a qualified hospital stay. The days reset once they're out of the hospital once again for 60 days in a row. So there's an option of days 1 through 20 or days 21 through 100. You can see the benefit payout options of $100 or $200 per day. There's a lot of information. I'll make available this presentation certainly, or a plan at a glance, which explains and provides a little bit more detail on this. Emergency room and ambulance benefit remains the same. You can see the ER visit, ambulance visit with ground and air transportation. Outpatient major diagnostic exam benefit of $500 for CT, MRI, etc. So here's a quick example of what somebody would be paid. And keep in mind, again, this is a cash benefit. So in this example below, Cindy selects a daily benefit amount of $500. She's later hospitalized for 4 days after back surgery. Pretty easy math, 500 times 4 days, we would send a check to Cindy for $2,000. So what Cindy would have available is 6 days through the remainder of that next 60 days. So if she stays out of the hospital for 60 days, it resets back to that original 10-day benefit period. Here's some costs, and this is a quick example. It's only for 3 days of confinement or benefit period. But you can see how you can build a plan for somebody who's got this high deductible possibly, should they go into the hospital. You can see a 40-year-old individual, about a little less than $10 per month to insulate for this benefit. And once again, agents are out there combining an accident plan and a hospital indemnity plan to overcome these high deductibles out there. Here are the knockout questions with the hospital indemnity application. Keep in mind, everything is electronic within our system. All the applications are, all the signatures are. The client can either sign via text or email, or simply do a screen share and you can type in their name as well. So their knockouts include in the past 2 years, has anybody applying for coverage been advised to have surgery, diagnostic tests, etc.? Is the individual currently pregnant, bedridden, confined to a wheelchair? Has any person applying for coverage been hospitalized 3 or more times in the past 2 years? I think that risk kind of explains itself there. And then in the last 2 years, has any person applying for coverage been diagnosed, treated for such things as heart disease, cancer, etc.? We would have to dig in and understand what those that diagnosis might include. But in most cases, answering yes to any of these questions would probably knock them out of temporarily being able to apply for this coverage. Oops. So moving on here, the final product is critical illness insurance. So what we have here, we built a plan that includes 9 different major diseases. You can still buy products out there in the marketplace that are strictly heart attack or stroke or cancer. What we did at LifeSecure is include 9 different diseases all in one with certain payouts of each. So once again, in my view, a lot of agents' views out there is we keep it simple, all condensed into one policy. So let's get into the details. Issue ages 18 to 70. California a little bit different. It's guaranteed renewable to age 75. Coverage for kids up to age 26, they get a $2,500 benefit amount, no additional cost. That's a nice competitive edge out there. So the benefit amounts range from $5,000 to $50,000. We go up to $20,000 in the workplace. Rate structure gets a little bit more detailed. nicotine, non-nicotine comes into play. There's an unlimited lifetime benefit maximum on return of premium should the individual pass away, the primary insured pass away. The secondary insured can choose to take over the policy at original writing age. All premium would be reimbursed to the beneficiary that has been paid into this policy. There's a health screening benefit of $50 per year per person, blood work, scans, etc. There are about 60 of them. All the insured needs to do is send in a receipt. We'll send them a check. There's a reoccurrence benefit of the same disease, and I'll explain that. Subsequent diagnosis of a different disease. So this truly can follow the insured from day one all the way through age 75. So here's a chart showing the benefit amount. Heart attack, stroke, invasive cancer, end-stage renal failure, and major organ failure are all 100% payout. I'll explain that. The others are a little bit less. Now, skin cancer is the only one and done because it's so prevalent in the environment today that we wanted to include it as an option as part of these diseases, but it is one and done. So once somebody indicates they have skin cancer, it's only a 5% payout of the benefit amount, and that it's over. The rest continue to have benefits throughout that 70 through 75. So here's a quick example. So this individual selected a $10,000 benefit amount. Remember, an individual can purchase up to $50,000. On the worksite, you can purchase up to $20,000. So in this case, this individual was diagnosed with invasive cancer. We would send a check to this individual for $10,000. 6 months later, this individual had a heart attack. That's indicated as a subsequent diagnosis of a different disease. We'd send another check for $10,000. After being treatment-free for a year, unfortunately, the invasive cancer returns. This is a reoccurrence benefit. Now, keep in mind, 100% payout is $10,000. If it's a reoccurrence of the same disease, we continue to pay, but it's at 50% of the total benefit amount. We would still send a check for $5,000. 1 year later, this individual, unfortunately, is diagnosed with skin cancer. It's a 5% payout of that benefit amount of $10,000. We would send another check for $500. So in this example, which hopefully is unusual, but it does happen, total cash benefit payout based on this $10,000 benefit is $25,500. So we're seeing an uptick, especially after COVID. A lot of awareness out there of individuals, maybe with family history, or just people who want to insulate themselves from the huge out-of-pocket costs for some of these diseases. So what does it cost? Let's take that $10,000 benefit. The average age that someone is buying this product is age 50, but we're seeing about 35% of sales of people under 50. So a 40-year-old male, non-nicotine, is about $18 a month. A 50-year-old, about $30 a month. So once again, affordable, but once again, it certainly is a budget item in the household. Let's talk a little bit about our new worksite ancillary product changes. So once again, our accident product is always guaranteed issue, 24/7 on or off the job coverage. Critical illness is guaranteed issue on the worksite up to $10,000. Now they can purchase up to 20, like I mentioned. From that standpoint, it would be simply a simplified issue scenario. So once again, anybody working 20 hours a week would be guaranteed issue on the critical illness of $10,000. The spouse can also apply. Hospital indemnity, guaranteed issue of $200 or $300 daily benefit. Anything over and above that, simplified issue with those 4 questions that I mentioned. So now 3 to 5 employees on critical illness and hospital indemnity only, 100% employer contribution, 100% participation required. So this is to set everything up. And we ask that everybody, 3 to 5 employees, contribute, the employer contributes, and participation 100%. 6+ employees, it is voluntary. No employer contribution required. We had higher than this previously. I think it was up to 10. So we've dropped this. That will put us in this space, I think, a little more competitively. So enrollment must be greater of 4 applications or 10%. When offering 2 or more ancillary products, the combined enrollment must be greater of 6 applications or 15%. And I think that's considerate of this type of opportunity for sure. But once again, we've made it easier, smoother. We have our own enrollment platform to enroll people. It's a point-and-click environment, signatures, etc. But take a look at us if you do happen to have a worksite opportunity. We've become very competitive in this landscape. So to kind of wrap things up, we do have marketing pieces. We can change the photo. We can brand it, co-brand it. But this is an example of a couple of accident flyers that are out there. We've also got YouTube videos, which a lot of agents embed in their website or in their signature line. These are professionally done. These happen to be a couple of ones for accident and hospital indemnity. They're only 1 minute long, but they're a good snapshot of what we do, what's covered, those sorts of things, and the opportunity to, once again, backfill on those high deductibles out there. This is the agent portal. If you're not quite contracted with LifeSecure, or maybe you are, this is the agent portal, which allows you certainly the quoting tools, track your business, e-applications, your commissions, ton of forms and marketing materials, worksite tools, etc. So check that out. To kind of wrap things up, once again, we really define ourselves of simplicity of doing business with LifeSecure. It's ease of quoting and illustrations. We also have a direct buying link. So we can set that up for you. A lot of agents have this link embedded either in their signature or on their website, where a client can simply point and click, like buying an Amazon purchase. Applications, once again, text or email. No application fees, several payment options. We're paperless, and once again, marketing and co-branding options apply. Appreciate your time today. Once again, my name is Dave Coghill. There is my contact information. If you want to reach out to me, certainly, once again, your point of contact continues to be AIM. And once again, Courtney and Derek, I appreciate the time today.
Yeah, we appreciate you. And I got a few questions for you here that we're kind of rolling in.
Sure.
So the first one, I'm trying to figure out a more general way to phrase this, but let's say there's a client here in Washington where the product isn't, and they go on vacation somewhere else. Is an agent able to sign them up if they're vacationing in a state where some of these ancillary products are available, or is it going to be more based off of where their home address is and they still want to be eligible?
Yeah, good question. So if somebody wants to take advantage of where the new hospital indemnity product is, for example, I'm trying to pick a state here. I'll say Arizona once again. They're vacationing there and they're interested in the new product. Absolutely. As long as that agent is licensed in that state, they can send the link out. As long as they indicate they're in Arizona, they can buy the new hospital indemnity, or they can wait till they return and they're sitting in there in the state. That would be the hospital recovery 3.0. So hopefully that answers your question. But if they're sitting in New York City, and trying to sign, they wouldn't be able to sign in New York City.
Okay.
No product there.
Perfect. Yeah. And then also, are these rates for most of these products going to be fixed, or is there a chance they can increase over time as they get older, or that kind of work?
No, good question. Once they purchase the product and it's age-based, now accident is not age-based. Anybody can buy it from 18 to 74. It's just those 4 rating tiers. But it does stay fixed, and the other products too, the critical illness hospital indemnity. If they buy it at 40, 10 years later, that thing is going to remain at that original writing premium.
Like it. And then the last one. So as far as the clients go, and I'll make this a little more specific to make it easier, but let's say they have the critical illness, they've used, part of their benefit. Is there like a client portal that they can go in there and kind of check themselves what they have left, and does it kind of update as it goes along, or is it just kind of, like a general numbers thing it sends out as far as this is your yearly benefit amounts?
So hospital indemnity is, they can certainly check how many days left. Yes, there is an insured, what we call an insured portal. They can see how many days left. So that initial example of they used 4 days and we paid them, and they want to go in and check what they've got left, they'll see 6 days remaining until they reach that 60 days straight, where it would reset to that original writing of 10 days. On the accident, yes. So that is based on a reset every January 1st. So if they have a $10,000 benefit and they've used $6,000 and it's in October, they can certainly go in there and see what they've got left, that additional $4,000, until it does reset. Yes.
Perfect. Yeah, I like that because it makes it a little bit easier for the agents.
Oh yeah, yeah, you bet.
Yeah, and kind of like you were saying in the beginning, I think this is perfect timing with AEP and everything coming up, and more and more people going towards some of those high premium plans, and this kind of filling in that gap. So all that's not coming out of pocket.
Yep.
Those bills can stack
up
pretty quickly.
Boy, they sure can. And the cost associated with these products is I'll say it, it's kind of minimal in the equation of what the total risk is, right? I mean, gosh, there are some people out there with $10,000 deductibles, $8,500 deductibles, and they're saving maybe $400 a month or $300 a month by taking that bronze plan. So there's plenty of opportunity to get in there and buy a $30 accident plan or a $20 hospital indemnity plan and still save them money each month.
Definitely, and it's a good way to make sure they're protected. I mean, it helps with client retention because they're being taken care of, and it's one of those things where no matter how much you warn a client that, hey, this has a big deductible, if something happens and they have to pay that, they're usually not too happy. So this is kind of a good way to help offset that, and
makes it easy for the agent. To your point, you bet.
Exactly. But yeah, perfect. I just want to say, thank you again for being here and running through everything. You guys have a great product, and it's one that our agents are definitely pushing, and those who aren't, should be a little bit more with this AEP coming up, and how popular Med Advantage is coming with the $0, premium that they have there, or people going towards higher deductibles on other stuff, and it's a great product line to have, kind of in their quiver to be able to offer and take care of their customers, but also, on our end, get a little bit more, when it comes to commissions and different things. So it's really a win-win.
You bet. I couldn't agree more. You bet.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you so much for being here. we'll reach out to some of the more just specific questions, and if there's anything that I can't figure out, I'll reach out to Dave here, and we'll get an answer for you guys. But I just want to thank everybody for attending. Once again, to Dave for being here, as well as Courtney. And we hope to talk to you guys all shortly, and hope you have a great rest of your day.
All right. Hey, thank you very much, Courtney and Derek. Appreciate your time for sure.